What You Missed What You Didn't Exist. I am Corbett, and I am 55.
And I'm Lucy, and I'm 25.
Back to rhyming
Yeah,
for half a year.
only half.
As I mentioned before, this is What You Missed When You Didn't Exist, and we are talking about things that happened between the year 1970 and the year 2000, which is a time when Lucy did not exist and I did. So I get to tell her about what it was like in my day.
The ultimate definition of back in my day.
This has nothing to do with dinner, but it is very much a common saying when I was a kid. You need to eat what's on your plate because there's kids in China starving. Then send them my beets. I don't want them.
Kids in China? That was
Kids
the phrase?
in China.
And then
That
it
was the
switched
phrase.
to Africa.
Yeah, well, that's the 80s. But in the 70s, growing up, and this led to what we're going to talk about. We're talking about the one-child policy in China. So if anybody already knows, I know that one. I'm good. You're fine. Technically, this did last until 2016. So kind of goes into when you did exist. So I'm skimming the edge here.
Well, then it ruined it. You ruined it.
It did ruin it a little. But it is an interesting thing because basically the entire country changed their policy to allow people to have children because they were afraid they were going to overpopulate and become, I guess, an overblown economy or an overblown country. Because at the time, by the time 1980 came around, China was just bordering on 1 billion people in the country, which is a lot. But they made the one-child policy. The one-child policy limits a couple to only have one child. And you think, oh, well, that would stem the overgrowth of the population because with only one child, two people would become one people. Two people would become one person, and then two more people would become one less person, and slowly you would kind of dwindle down your population just a little so things can kind of get a handle on it. At the time, they had estimated that the population would be 3 billion in 10 years. So they were really concerned it was just going to blow up. And so they put a lot of restrictions, made rules. Specifically, they put it into effect in 1979, and it became fully indoctrinated into their constitution in 1982. I looked up the numbers, don't feel like I got that right off the top of my head. But I do remember it was around 1980 when they were like, oh, China can only have one child. And at the time, I really didn't have a lot of input into this as a kid. Like, oh, I guess they can only have one kid. And that's different. But I had friends, their parents only had the one child.
Yeah.
It's not like an unheard of, like, oh, people they have to have more than one child, because I feel like I run into a lot more people with 8 kids in the family or some crazy number. The atomic family is what America's mostly used to, the two children. 2 parents, 2 children, and the world just keeps spinning.
What was the average average family size in China at the time, I guess?
I didn't think to look that one up.
Well, because obviously you would have to cut down the numbers a lot. And I mean, yeah, here we experience a lot of the mega families, I guess. So it's just interesting, like, why it was such a big deal if most people on average are having 2 to 3 kids.
Okay, I just looked this up. So in China, at the time, 1979, when this went into effect, the average family size, and this is the average, which is a little more than I thought it would be, but the average family size is 4.4 people.
Whoa. Well, no, that makes sense, because that would be 2 adults, 2 kids. Family.
Yeah, but it fell down rapidly to 2.7 and so forth. And they did have a policy that allowed for rural families to have 2 children if the first child is not a boy. So if you had a girl, you could then have a boy as your second child, unless, of course, your second child was a girl. I don't know what would happen after that. And there's a lot of, this is the thing that came after. This is kind of a, oh, that's bad kind of moment, because number one, the big problem that they ran into was, of course, everybody wanted the boy.
Yes.
Wanted to have the boy.
Yeah.
Well, if every child's one child is a boy, the population is going to decrease really rapidly because without girls, kind of a problem.
You do need 2 people.
It's difficult. Most girls that were born were killed in infancy or they would wind up getting adopted in other countries, America being one of the more prominent ones, I think. But you start running into, children that were, thrown into wells or just thrown away because you can't have, if you only have one child, it's got to be a boy.
Yeah.
That led to the missing woman, the generation of missing women or something like that. I forget what they called
Oh.
it now. It was actually something they specifically classified. I had never heard of it until I kind of read through the background on some of the details. Basically, the entire population missed out on having an equal number of boys and girls. You got to have the kind of pairing off situation. So that is awkward.
A little.
And kind of led to, it led to problems. I mean, just in general.
Like what kind of problems, I guess?
The first thing was they were killing children.
Well, yeah.
Or killing babies after their birth. So for those people who are like, oh, you can't have an abortion, like, no, they weren't doing abortions, they were doing murder.
Yeah.
After born, bad. Or it became more common that women would enter the workforce, just like in the 1940s when men all went off to war for World War II in America. Women just went off and started working, and it changed the dynamic of how sexuality kind of worked at the time. Now that the boys are back, why should I give up my job? I'm doing great.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it led to complications. It led to it basically being abolished about 30 years later, because it was about 2016 when they fully officially changed it to a two-child policy.
Yeah.
I think they went through in the 2010s and started relaxing it, and then by 2016 they removed it to two-child policy, and then by 2020 or 2021 they fully just removed it and like just have all the kids you want. Because by then, and just so you know, I looked it up too, they only got to 1.5 billion people.
Oh, instead of the projected 3 that they were thinking.
Yeah, instead of the projected 3 that would have happened in just a few years, they more or less dipped pretty good, but they still went up. But then again, the entire world has been growing on a consistent basis. I think the other country that's right by them is India. I know it's India, but
yeah.
I think it's India's right by them in population. Geographically, yes, they are close, but they also have about 1.5 billion people.
Yeah, in population.
And they have like a lot of overgrown, overpopulated areas, so they have their own situation going on. Okay, by the 2023 census, world census, I guess, the United States has 350 million. So not as many as I thought.
Half the population of China.
No, like about a quarter. No, less than a quarter.
You said they were at 1.5 billion or something.
Yeah, 350 million is not that many.
Oh, yeah.
In comparison to 1 billion.
That's not math.
You're an English teacher, not a math teacher. Don't worry.
It's fine. It's a rough estimate.
I think the first time I remember hearing about it in After Effect was an episode of House, when there was a woman of Chinese descent who was adopted and had to get a hold of her parents to find out any genetic defects or whatever, and they just presumed she's a ghost. They didn't want to accept that she was adopted, and it's because they tried to kill her. They put pins in her head.
Oh.
That's why the pins were the thing. Spoiler for anybody watching that episode of House. But she had pins in her head. They had pushed pins into the top of her head as a baby to kill her. And somebody else found her, and she wound up going up for adoption. But the pins didn't actually hurt her until later in life.
Interesting.
But yeah, that was a pretty rough. The after effects, I think, are what were more difficult to absorb or accept.
I mean, I think in general it's hard to predict what the populations are going to do as they grow, just because we've all kind of collected to the cities a bit. Because I know Japan is having this problem of most people that are in Japan are old people, and the new people are moving to the cities, or they're even moving to the United States. So there's these empty, like, countryside villages, and they're like, we just want people to come, I mean, kind of enhance tourism a little bit, but also with the population decreasing so much, it's making it hard to pass on generational culture, which I think it's hard.
No, that definitely leads to the problems for sure. Well, and also the aging population, because you have a generation of people that are aging into what we would call retirement, but they would call slightly less working. I don't know. China's known for working themselves like crazy. They did have an aging population similar to what we have. We have less children and more elderly, and basically the young have to take care of the old by tradition in China and in America to a certain extent, but in China it's a thing. Well, if you only have one child, guess what child has to take care of the elderly parents and grandparents? It kind of becomes like, well, then I can't go work, so therefore it puts us at a deficit for that too.
Yeah. But I think population control can be done in different ways. But I think it's interesting that they found murdering children to be easier than murdering old people.
Well, that just became the common, because if you well, no, it's not like the government was doing the murdering. They were sterilizing people. Like anybody who's like
Mm,
having children and doing it against the law, they would go through and force them to have an abortion or sterilize them so they could have no more children at all.
yeah.
And that's pretty rough. You also kind of run into the problem of, what if your child dies early, in early life, instead of living to his adulthood? Well, then do you get another child? Do how does all that work? And it leads to a lot of, like, we don't normally deal with this.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it's really a communist thing either. I mean, because most people are probably like, well, that's because they're commies, Corbett. I'm like, okay, yes, they are. But that's not a Russian communist thing. They never did that.
That's true.
They also had the room for growth, and they didn't have an overgrowth population issue. So,
I mean, I just think people have different priorities on ways to quote unquote benefit their country.
mm,
And so maybe population control was just easier to help with supplies and resources. I have no idea. I feel like it's something we're seeing in the United States, not because we're forced to, but I think by choice, just
mm,
because we are also kind of running low on resources and healthy means of accessing food and water,
yeah,
because so much stuff is processed now because there's so many people that need to have demands met.
yeah. Well, in America, that led to government cheese.
Government cheese?
Yeah, they figured out the way to make American cheese. American cheese really isn't cheese. It's actually
Oh.
a petroleum byproduct, or no, it's an oil byproduct or something they make, or not oil as in petroleum oil, like vegetable oil. It's
Yeah.
a If you get American cheese, it is not cheddar.
Oh, of course it's not.
But they would give you a block of American cheese because it could be produced without having to worry about needing all these cows. Because in the I think it was the 50s or 60s, they were starting to run low on dairy products, so they had to figure out a way to produce more. And in the process, they figured out a way to make, well, fake cheese.
Well, all the 50s people were sucking down those milkshakes in the diners.
I guess, but that's if you actually watching a lot of shows in the 70s, you'll get the jokes about government cheese, because anybody who's on welfare would get government cheese instead of cheese. So
Ah.
yeah, I'm sure that they use something similar in China. They probably have more of a rice based, like nutrient based type.
Probably either rice or tofu would be my guess.
I think it's only in America we put cheese on everything.
Oh, it's so delicious, though. It's so hard.
Well, you can't say much. You're actually allergic to it.
I know! And it kills me.
Literally.
Kills me every day.
No, it's just that's the one joke from Emperor's New Groove. Or no, is it? No, it's gravy. Everything you make covered in gravy.
Oh, yes.
I always think it's cheese for some reason, because I feel like everything we make is covered in cheese, just covered in saturated cheese.
Need to have the sauce to cover the flavor of any other food.
Yeah, but that's the thing you kind of missed on, and it's been changed. So, hooray! That's probably good, right?
It's been changed, but I feel like again, in today's society, people aren't needing to have kids, and then those people that are needing to have kids are struggling with fertility. So I just feel like we're ending up in a population deficit anyways. But I also see the reverse of it because there's so many children now that talk about,
Mm,
oh yeah, my dad has this side chick and this side chick, and they're families of baby daddies essentially.
wow.
And so I wonder if that for the one child rule, if it was just one child per couple or if it was one child per person. Because in that instance, they probably could have solved their population problem by just sleeping around. But I don't know.
That sounds like a healthy attitude.
I'm just saying.
I will say this too. I bet it hasn't 100%. I mean, I don't think it's a matter of flipping the switch and it goes right back to the way it was because they spent almost 30 to 40 years doing things one way, and
Yeah.
it is very hard to turn that ox
Oh,
when
definitely.
you flip that switch. Like, okay, we know we would sterilize you and beat you to death if you had these children, so now you can have these children.
Yeah.
That is going to be a tough one to turn around from, I think. I mean, obviously they're still having children and their growth rates are going, but they're not out of control or anything.
And I mean, if you're used to a family dynamic being a certain way, I'm sure you wouldn't want to change it because you're like, well, I know this works, so why would you want to increase it or
Yeah.
make it even crazier, I guess?
Who would have known that something in the past would be complicated?
Or stupid, which is
Yeah,
me
that
every
happens
single
too.
episode. Why would you do this like that? That seems so silly.
Well, that's our job.
I don't know. Do you wish you had the one child rule? Is 3 kids too
Mm,
many kids?
I will say this: before we had you, we were wanting to have 6.
That's wild, Dad. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
No, we had you, and then we're like, we could do 4. And then we had Riley, and like, we can do 2, and that's fine. And then we had George. So, yeah.
So 2 is too many, and then you just happen to have 3.
Well, I came from I came from 5 kids, and it felt like one person's always out. So I thought you should always be in pairs. And your mom came from 2 kids, a 2 or 4 kid family, and they were in pairs. And she's like, we need to have more than 4. So,
Wow.
like 6 sounds great.
That's crazy.
Having kids is a whole other world that I hope you don't have to deal with, but I'm sure you will eventually. So,
What do you mean? I have kids. I'm a teacher. I have 90 of them. If you go
so
in,
you're
go in
breaking some
whole
rules
hog.
in China.
Yes. Only some.
Oh man. Anyway, so for what you missed when you didn't exist, go out and have some kids. It's not against the law.
That's weird. Don't let laws get you down. Go get down.